Well, hello everybody. How are you doing today? I hope all of you are doing fine. I really do. And I'm happy to announce that I'm doing fine too. Thank you very, very much for tuning in today. I am truly grateful to have you with me. And I would like to welcome all of you to another episode of TJ's Topics. That's right. Certainly glad to have you join me. I consider it a joy, an honor, and a privilege to be able to come into your presence on any given occasion. And on today's episode, I do have a pretty good topic that I'd like to share with you, and we can focus on it for a few minutes. And the topic is church is a weekly costume party. That is exactly what we are going to focus on for the next few minutes. Church is, in fact, a weekly costume party. And you may be wondering, how in the world did I come to that conclusion? Well, if you have been in church at any time in your life, from childhood, your teens, or beyond, then you know that when you go there, no matter what type of service it is, the one thing that is always required of you upon entering through the doors is for you to be on your best behavior. You have to put on your very best in terms of attitude, personality, and especially your style of dress. You have got to be well put together when you walk through the doors of anybody's church. I mean, it's the truth anyhow. And, they often say, come as you are. But guess what? That's only a catchphrase, because you may come as you are, you know, on the front end. But before you even get to the back end, they are going to do everything they possibly can in order to mold you and make you into whatever it is that they feel is appropriate. And they're going to start working on you time you get there, especially if you become a member. Now, today I do have some things that I want to go over with you regarding this subject matter. And I have a question that I would like to ask all of you, and that is, what are the similarities between church and costume parties? And believe me, there are a number of similarities. I captured 5 of them, and those 5 are as follows. Number 1, social mask. Number 2, costume requirements. Number 3, the character persona. Number 4, community rituals. And number 5, the judgment factor. And so I would like to go over each of those with you, if I may. And that way we can get a better understanding of how it is that church is indeed similar to a costume party. Both church and a costume party fundamentally revolve around dressing up to play a specific role, whether it's putting on our Sunday best, our nice clothes and stuff to show respect and righteousness, or wearing a literal mask to blend in with the crowd. Both environments often encourage attendees to hide their authentic selves behind curated personas. Basically, we have to put on the front. We have to wear a facade when we go to church, because when you go to church, the main thing is they expect for everyone to look the part and put their best foot forward. And how can you put your best foot forward if you come in there looking like crud? That's not going to go over too well with the crowd, or and not even those in leadership roles, including the pastor and ministers, deacons, and what have you. That's not going to sit too well with them. Now, let's begin with number one, where we're talking about social masks. Social masks. Both settings can act as masquerades where participants hide personal struggles, doubts, or, quote, sins. People often put on an outward display of happiness or holiness because the social setting expects a certain kind of, wait for it, performance. That is the key word in that. Performance. It's all for show, where it's an act. That's what it is. It's like going to a show on Broadway, seeing a play, on Broadway in New York, or a school play or any stage production, because the church is like a stage itself, and the service is the show. That's the show. And then all the rituals and everything, the order of service, as we refer to it as, that is the performance. The choir singing, the music, and all that. It's all a show. It's a performance. Number two, costume requirements. Just as a Halloween party might require you to dress as a witch or a superhero, church attendance historically and culturally implies dressing to an unspoken standard. Putting on Sunday best suits or dresses is essentially a uniform to signify your participation in the event. They'll tell you to come as you are, but keep on going in there as you are every Sunday. And see, won't they start to critique your appearance? Number three, the character persona. When participating in both, you are expected to adopt manners, vocabulary, and attitudes that fit the environment. At a party, you stay in character. At church, you might sing along and pray to fit in with the group's expectations, even if your internal state doesn't match. You have to play the role, and try to fit in as best you can. That's the only way they will accept you, whether you're for real or not. Number four, community rituals. Both feature highly specific routines and scripted activities. Now, in the church, the script would be the order of service, the choir marching in, and the reading of the scriptures and the prayer and the announcements, whatever they do. That is the script that they go by. And the play, the script is, the different roles, the characters, their lines and everything. Man, I'm telling you, it's just a show. And then finally, number five, the judgment factor. Both can feature pressure to fit in perfectly. Attendees who wear the wrong costume or fail to engage properly at either event may be judged or gently alienated by the crowd. See there? So you have to put on a front in order to go to both a costume party and go to church, because it's a show, it's a performance, and the church is a stage. And if you go to any secular venue, like a community center or recreational center or whatever, and they have a stage play, you know, there's a stage there. So, man, I'm telling you. So the final point I want to make is ultimately, while church aims to connect people with spiritual truths, both realms share the uniquely human habit of using outward appearances and curated social behaviors to navigate a group setting. And that, my friends, are the similarities between church and costume parties. So basically, church is a weekly costume party. It is. And when you go to church next time, whenever that is, I want you to keep that in mind, okay? And make sure that if and when you go, always put on your best because they will be watching you. And I hope you enjoy yourself when you do because it's a good show. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of TJ's Topics. I really appreciate you being with me. And I look forward to seeing you again next time, okay? And we will have another topic of interest. This is Taryn Jerome Harris, reminding all of you that every round goes higher and higher. And I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.